Okay, hey everybody, Michael here, and today I'm going to show you how to work with a Python example development repository where we have all the installation or some installation development utilities that could be helpful when we run our Python program. So follow me here, and I have an article here that I'm going to follow slightly, and I'm just going to go into the real hard stuff, sort of clone the repo, set up the virtual environment, and let me just check the example programs. So let's do that. So I'm going to go and clone here. So I think I'm going to copy that part, and I'm going to go into my git bash terminal here, and I'm going to paste it in, and let's clone. Yay! So let's move into this directory, and let's see what we have here. Okay, nice. Let's see if we have any hidden files also. Okay, fine. So this should then be some kind of development directory with some examples for Python. Good. Before I start, I need to do some checkup things here with the make file. So I want to ensure that the make file is compatible with my own environment. So I think I'm going to open up a text editor here. So I'm going to go with the at-home text editor. And let's go from scratch where I open up the make file here. So this make file has a lot of targets. And it's basically this version target that's going to help me check out what kind of version do I have here. I'm going to do it again like that. Okay, good. So the make file is labeling this as Python. I'm using the current Python installed in Windows. Okay, good. And the version of Python is like that. Okay, excellent. So the makefile target here is just sort of running a few sort of lines of code to help me work this out. But the thing is up here. So I'm setting Python here in the makefile as a variable, and I'm using Python as default. And if I don't set, I'm using Python as default, and if this variable would be defined outside of the makefile, then it will take another value. Let me show how that works. Because the idea here would be like if you were on a Mac or Linux machine, perhaps your Python executable would be labeled Python 3 instead. And then we don't want to go into the make file here and edit it. No, we could, but we don't want to do that because we don't know what environment our friends are on. So then we can just set the environment variable there, and then we could do make version. Oh, Python 3. Yes, that worked. Oh, yes, it's the Python trying to install it from the Microsoft Store. Dangerous. We don't want to do that. So let's do this again with another example. I know I have PHP, another sort of programming language in my path. So I'm going to set Python equals PHP instead. So you're going to check that, okay, so now the makefile is using PHP instead, and that is installed in the examp directory, and we have that version of it. Okay, that's nice. But let's go back to set this as sort of the Python executable. And then in case that you sort of, since Python here is the default one, I don't need to sort of run it like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and run make version. So let's clear it, do it again. We're ready. So that is how sort of the make file can be used if you have another sort of environment. You don't need to go into the make file and edit it. So the make file will gonna help me to do the virtual environment. So it's not much stuff, but some stuff to be able to create and work with the virtual environment, I will sort of, it is in the make file. So it's the make file you could basically think of as, okay, help me to remember how to create the virtual environment. Help me how to install stuff from the requirements file. So it's a place to store script or code and run it later. And I don't need to remember how I wrote those sort of larger commands. Okay, so here we are. We are on Windows, so we're gonna activate the virtual environment like that. And there we go. And we see this, the prompt is changed. And so we have the virtual environment active. So we have a requirements file here. Yes, we have. And this is going to be the make install command. And that is going to install all the stuff in the requirements file. And I can just start that up. And while that does it work, we can just go into the requirements file and see what it's in here. So here is some stuff for unit test coverage, bandit, flake, code linters, metrics, cohesion, some things about documentation. So a lot of development packages. And okay, so it's still running here. Oh, no, there we go. So make installed, and that is just sort of showing me what you saw the command up there. So it's just doing pip list. And wow, so it is a lot of things installed into my virtual environment. Excellent. So then we're done with that. So now we can actually go down and run the programs. And we have a dice example, so I'm going to go into that. So cd source, and then we have dice guess. So I'm going to go into the dice example program there. I'm going to do an ls minus la. So there are a few stuff, small development environment also in there. And it has its own make file also. Okay, nice. So I should be able to do things here. So I have a dice, I have a test program, I have a main. Let's just run it. So I will not go into the code right now. I just want to see how I run it. So Python main. Oh, there we go. So that worked. And it said that we should also be able to send an argument into that. Okay, a lot of dice was rolled. Okay, fine. Excellent. This is all about the development environment, so we're not going to go into the code right now. We see here that we have a few linters. We can just see if we can execute them. So linters are a way to do static code analysis, and nothing is wrong here. So all the code seems to be flawless. Let's see. Let's check pylint. No static code errors. Oh, it's excellent code. It's rated 10 out of 10. The best we can have. So that sounds nice. We can also run all the linters. So that will run both flake and pylint on the same time. Okay, so that's enough for now about code linters. Let's talk a bit more about that another day. Okay, so what do we have more? We also have some called make unit test and make coverage. So we can just see if we can execute them. Make unit test. I think it was okay. So it's running the unit test from that test file. Okay. And then we can make coverage, and that will run the unit tests here, and it will include a coverage report there. Oh, it also wrote the HTML report to HTML index.html. Nice. Now, we're not going to check that out today. Let's take that for another day. Okay, so we can also do a make test, and that should run both the linters and the unit test with the code coverage program. So it's one makefile target to run all the tests we have. Okay, good. So example code with a development environment with a few tools. So we can also just check out the guess example program here. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to go into guess. And let's see what we have here. So there we have. So we have the make file there. And we have a main program, we have a shell, we have a game, and we have one test file. So I'm just going to go, before I start, I'm just going to check if all these sort of tests go through. Okay, so we have a problem with cohesion there. Yes, I'm going to ignore that for now. And Pylon says fine, good code rating. And the code coverage here, 2 tests. And we got a code coverage out of sort of 67%. So yeah, we can work with that another day. Fine, I think this is okay. Let's end it up with running this small program here. So I'm going to go with Python main and execute it. Oh, nice. It's a play game of guess my number. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can do this quick. So help, let's start. Okay, he's ready. Okay, good. So guess on 1. Oh, too low, of course. So this can't work. So guess on 50. Too low. Guess on 75. Too low. I'm gonna cheat and guess on 90. Yes, I did it. Excellent. So I'm going to exit that program. And that was another example program, a bit sort of a menu-driven terminal command line program. Really nice with the shell, with the shell module there. So this was a quick walkthrough on how you do it with this article, and it's mainly then focused on this example repository where we have some set up for a sort of a real Python development project with a lot of tools included. So thank you for watching, and I see you another day. Bye for now. Bye bye.